Good morning, everyone. We have Professor Erik Harms here with us from Yale University, and he will respond to a few questions regarding his most interesting talk. Professor Harms, could you run us through very quickly, run us through the main argument of your talk?
Yeah, so today I presented a talk called "The Rights Gone Wrong on the City's Edge, Evidence from Ho Chi Minh City." And my basic argument was that although there's a rising rights discourse in contemporary Vietnam, which makes many observers excited to see Vietnamese defending and fighting for their rights, in the case of land rights, I was arguing that there's an unfortunate process where sometimes rights are conflated with property rights, and that although it gives people voice in fighting, resisting the appropriation of some of their land, sometimes in the process they use an idiom which actually reproduces the importance of property as the way of understanding land, and in that process they actually reproduce a certain notion that is actually undermining their own access and ability to continue living on their land. So the language of rights actually reproduces the language of dispossession in some ways. And so that was the main point of my talk, and I used evidence from a master plan development project in Ho Chi Minh City called the Tu Tiem New Urban Zone, in which 14,600 households are being evicted to build that project.
Thank you. In your talk, you mentioned that in your upcoming book project, you are committed to take, I quote, the different aspirations of the people you're studying seriously. Could you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, so one of the things that I've encountered in my study of these master plan development projects is given the nature of dispossession that often comes with them, there's a compulsion almost to want to create a caricature of the people who are involved in development projects as kind of a evil other intent on dispossessing people for the sake of dispossession. But one of the things that I found more interesting is trying to get at the logic behind some of these master plan development projects, and that's what I mean by taking aspiration seriously, because in Vietnam there's a deep aspiration for development and modernization and improving the infrastructure of the cities, in cities like Ho Chi Minh City. And so I think that in order to really understand some of the forces driving dispossession, although we have to be critical of injustice, we also have to take seriously some of the hopes and aspirations that people have and why that sometimes leads them to do these types of things.